Life on board a sailboat is many things. Predictable is not one of them. Our first attempt in repairing our leaky windows ended in disaster, followed shortly thereafter by a hurricane striking just south of us. Now we pick up the pieces and make another attempt on our biggest boat project to date. We are Paige and Daniel, traveling with our Great Dane Winston on our 38-foot catamaran to see what lies beyond the horizon. Big thanks to those who support our adventures on Patreon, especially our awesome patrons. Go to patreon.com to find out how you can become an awesome patron.
Hey guys, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's been about 2 weeks since I hurt my finger, and it's kind of putting me out of commission as far as taking care of the windows. So today we are going to start working on windows again, and that means that we're going to drop Winston off at daycare, and Daniel and I are going to continue removing caulk and putting in new caulk. Hopefully we don't break any more windows today. Fingers crossed. About 2 weeks ago we broke our window, and my finger has been I cut my finger really bad, so I haven't really wanted to do any of that because I can't really bend it. Anyways, that's the story. So today is the day that we are going to take care of this. We're going to finish up this portion of the project, even though we made a bigger project for ourselves because we're going to have to get a window made.
There was also a hurricane in between then and now, so that's kind of, delayed things as well.
That is fair to say. We are, so now we are resuming our project mode and getting this going. So one of the really important things on our agenda today is to get this piece of cardboard to the glass maker so that they can make a piece of glass. We want to make sure that it is exactly the way it should be, so it should work for us. So it looks like we can just trim it right here where the line is we're planning on. We're going to need to trim more off of this side, and then I think we can trim some this line down here as well. We should be just fine. All right, funny story. We took our template to the glass manufacturer and they're closed. Today's Friday. They should be open, but they're closed. So I guess it's just small town business, right? And we're going to go ahead and move forward with taking out the caulk, bring in the template on Monday. That is their next business hours, and we will hopefully get some glass made and keep working away at our caulking on the other windows, because this is painful, guys. It's like it's painful experience because we don't want to break anymore, and there's just this underlying feeling that we might, but we're not going to break any more glass. That's all done. So yesterday we pulled out all the caulking of our forward windows, and it's quite a mess. It has to be like as clean as we can possibly get it without pulling the windows actually off the boat, because we don't want to do that. I can go into that in a second. And so now we're going to pull out some tools and see if some tools will make this a little easier. So I have this wire brush, and Daniel has a
Nylon brush.
And we're going to see if that makes a difference, if we can get through and clean this a little faster, because, oy, this is soul breaking kind of work. It's just time consuming.
We want to use tools instead of chemicals because we don't want the chemicals that take off the caulk to seep down into the adhesive that's actually keeping the window in place. So that's why we're trying to do it with mechanical work. The brush seemed to do a decent job, but it did leave some markings on the windows. I just want to make sure that it's just gunk and not scratching the windows. I think they're scratched.
Bummer.
I can try putting some painter's tape on it, and that'll protect the window. See if it gets eaten up with the brush.
Guess that's worth trying. Another thing that we noticed while Daniel was doing that is that we're having a lot of particulate flying now. So safety glasses is on the agenda.
This is just a test patch. We'll see. That brush is doing nearly as much as we would hope. We have another Dremel, so do that. So we found some little tips that seem to fit in there quite nicely. So I can do the inside as Paige does the outside. You have to be gentle.
What happened?
Oh, it just went through the gel coat a little bit. Gently is the key. So, portable Dremel number 1 is dead. So it's back on the charge. But this Dremel is plugged in, so don't have to worry about that. But that cuts our work on these windows in half. So we're trying to figure out what one of us is going to do while the other one is Dremeling. Work must move forward.
So I think I'll take over the plug-in Dremel while the other Dremel is charging, and Daniel's going to start slicing up on the Targa caulk.
Again. So you guys remember a few episodes back, we did that whenever we first got here in Fernandina, but we bought the regular 4200 instead of the UV 4200, so it turned yellow and it's gross. So we're gonna have to tear that out and replace it with 4200 UV.
So let me tell you what our plan was before I tell you how it's changed. So one of the things is that going through evaluating these windows, we didn't think we'd need to take these windows out because there was no flexing or movement under the window. So we were just going to leave them in. Since we had the last catastrophe with the aft window, we were going to leave them in and then just caulk these windows, like basically reseal them on the outside. So we were cleaning up all the caulking on the outside, not planning to take the windows off. And then a little bit more evaluation found that we might be taking these windows off because there's a little bit of movement. And a little bit of movement means that the window probably should come off and
be rebedded, because where the movement is exactly where we've been getting the leaks.
Then we'll clean up the caulking and the windows, and hopefully this time we don't break one.
Well, we have a template of it this time if we do.
We do. We have templates now. This is fine. This is fine. This is boat life. This is just part of the process, and yeah, we'll be fine.
I'll get some water.
We are now getting ourselves mentally geared up for this next new step to take off the windows and rebed them appropriately.
So 1/2 inch there. So what we're planning on doing is whenever we take the window out, that's the easy part. Putting it back in, we want to make sure that we have the same gap across the entire window. And it looks like the gap up here is about 3/16. Haven't measured the bottom yet. And the gap between the two windows is about 1/2 inch. So what we're planning on doing is going to get some dowels. And we're going to put those in the gap spaces to make sure that it's evenly gapped. What I'm thinking happens, this gap is on the top of the window is a lot smaller than the one on the bottom of the window. So we want to make sure that they're evenly gapped. So we're going to take measurements at the top, measurements at the bottom, split the difference, and find dowels that size. 1/4 inch. 7/32.
All right, so now we have our templates, and we are finally at the glass maker place. I'm not exactly sure what they're called.
A glazier.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the glaziers. And so we're going to get this, hopefully, get this piece of glass made.
Okay, so we've dropped off the template and should be here next week.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know if we've mentioned it in this video yet. So we are going to be getting our rigging replaced. So we have an appointment with a crane, with a rigger, we have to schedule all of these things out. And in addition to fixing our windows before that happens.
The crane we know is a fixed point either on October 21st and or November 7th. So we can bump ourselves out to November 7th to get the mast taken off instead of put back on. So just kind of do a whoopity whoop. And then we can figure out putting the mast back on at a later date.
But yeah, that's a completely different episode, and we'll definitely keep you guys updated on that project because, boy, that should be exciting.
We're not going to be redoing the rigging ourselves. We're going to have professionals do that.
Holy hell, guys, we can barely handle the windows. All right, so now we're gonna get this party started. We're gonna put our suction cups on the windows, tie it up, get it all secured before we use this wire to cut through the window again. Hopefully this time when we get it off, we don't break the darn thing.
So while Paige is working to get the window removed from the inside, I'm gonna work outside and get us a starting point to get the wire in. So that's what I'm doing.
Look at all that water pouring through.
Whoa.
Woo! What happened?
I was making sure that this was stable. It's off.
Yep. We need to get a pillow or something to put it on, right?
Place, yes. Over to the table.
I would feel a lot better if you held it without the suction cup. Thank you.
And we'll set it face down right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, that is like the scariest part.
I feel more nervous than whenever it was on the boat. Because this is the point where we got to last time, and then it exploded. But I feel like we're figuring things out here, slowly.
Give it a wide berth when you walk around it.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
And then rotate.
Rotate.
We're
Slowly.
moving. Yeah, slowly. Slowly.
All right, I'm stepping up.
No, you need to. Okay.
Stepping up. All right, we got it. We're good.
Do you see me?
Yeah.
I gotta turn with you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Woo!
Yeehaw.
All right. Careful around it. Go in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Lifting.
And not at the very end.
Yeah. 1,
In the center.
2, 3. Down.
I know, guys. But now I just have to make sure we don't step on it.
Hence why Winston is not here today.
Yeah, Winston is at daycare. I tried to convince Daniel to board Winston so that we could leave this out and like clean it, work on it, and put it back up before we got Winston again. But that doesn't seem fair to Winston. So where do we keep this overnight while Winston is here?
You can see this is just that was even attached to it. So yeah, you can, I don't know if we cut off. We must have just cut through this. But this wasn't even attached to the window.
So previously the windows were painted the black color so that you couldn't see the hull of the boat. So I think we're going to try painting with a 795 or actually an auto tint, an auto window tint. That's the other option we're tossing around.
Yeah, I just don't want to, I don't know how we'd transport this window to a maybe like a mobile glass detailer, like they can come here, like mobile tinter guy.
I don't know, I guess that's a thing. We got it off without breaking it, and now we're getting it so clean.
In order to get new sealant and caulk onto the surface, we have to get the old stuff off and make sure it's super nice and clean. So just right now, it's been taking off the real heavy bead that they put on, and then we'll clean it up shortly. Well, it's slow, but we're getting there.
And I am finished scraping all of the caulk and paint off of the window. So now I need to really get it super clean, and then this area is super clean so that we can reapply the caulking. It's gonna be great. We're finally getting there. I'm really excited.
So it's always exciting when you start tearing your boat apart. You find all the little things that maybe have been repaired before or are in need of repair. And case in point, the window frame inside the window opening seems to have come apart. Take a look. There are some parts that are still stuck, but that yellow line around the window frame, to me, it tells me like maybe it's been repaired before, or something. Maybe that's the original application. But as we're digging into this, it looks like these windows have been rebedded in the past. Next steps are to prep our surface. We're going to use some isopropyl alcohol and a cloth, and I'm just going to kind of clean up that whole area. And so while I do that, Paige is going to do the window.
All right, so I am getting the window perfectly clean, going through, getting any little last bits, wiping it down with some acetone. We only have a little bit of that left, so if I run out, I'll use isopropyl alcohol, get it nice and clean and ready for some caulking.
And we're looking at sort of the instructions on the 795, and you have to make sure that the surface temperature is below 122 degrees Fahrenheit for optimal conditions. And when we came out here, I touched the glass and noticed it was pretty hot. Heat gunned it and it was like 140. So we erected a lovely shade structure.
It's nice to work in the shade.
Yeah, it's a bed sheet. Yeah. Adapt, overcome. So I'm gonna go caulk the frames of the windows. Here's our Dow 795 and our fancy sausage caulk gun.
We had talked about doing a like a sample, like practicing on a piece of cardboard before we, really used it on a project. Do you still want to do that?
I think just caulking the frame should be fine, but yeah, before painting it onto the glass, I thought was what we discussed.
Not exactly, but it'll be fine. Close enough.
So, tube of stuff into a sausage stuffer. And we're going to bring it up till just to the very top. And then I'm going to twist this off just to bring all the caulk down as much as I can. So I have a clean cut.
I'm not sure if we are actually qualified to be giving any kind of tutorials on how to do this because we have never done this before ourselves. You guys are along for the ride.
Yes, but I did see a ruggedly handsome Australian man do this on a YouTube video, so I feel very qualified. Do that. A nice thing there, all right. So this fits right on top like such, and collar down. I think I'm ready to go caulk something. This thing is massive. This is the biggest caulking implement I think I've ever used.
Yeah, Daniel can't get over the massive black caulk he's about to use.
It is the biggest caulk I've ever had in my hands. We're going to put a bead of caulk around the interior of the window frame just to stop any potential leaks there.
I'm not very much help. Just laughing at Daniel now. So remember when Paige was like, maybe we should practice on a piece of cardboard? You're not going to respond at all.
No.
Oh my gosh, you're angry with me. You're recording me now.
Mm.
I wish there was a way for me to clean this up.
There isn't.
There's no way to clean that up.
No.
Bummer.
Looks good though. Good job.
Thanks. So we're in the process of doing not just these windows, but all of our windows. And we're working on the first few, and it's so nice to know that the first ones you do are always the hardest because we're just going to learn and get better as we go. I mean, already we've learned so much. I'm cleaning it one last time with some isopropyl alcohol. Get it nice and shiny, close to brand new as we possibly can. And this is happening today. We're going to mount it today, and as long as we don't break it.
Yeah, it would be a heck of a bigger mess having it all painted with the 795 and it breaking. That would be a goopy, disgusting, terrible mess. I've just said we're going to paint the glass with the 795. As you can see, the glass is not, colored in any way around the windows. When these were originally made, they were just painted black, so you don't see the bulkhead beneath it. We don't want to use paint again, and we've done a lot of looking on other Seawinders who have done this, and they use either Sika or Dow 95 or whatever material they're using, and they just put a coat of it on the area they want black, and that seems like good to me, good to us. Because it's UV resistant and thick, and then you just have extra caulk holding on to caulk instead of paint that degrades and blisters and falls off, and that's what's holding on to the caulk. So this just seems logical.
there are some people in the Seawind community that say the only way to do this correctly is to purchase new windows that have the black baked into the glass. And I agree, that would be ideal. But, you know, we're not going to spend that kind of money on brand new windows, nor do we want to wait any longer to have them made in Vietnam and then shipped here to Florida. So yeah, this is the best option that we could find.
Yeah, sure. We could probably find a glass manufacturer here who would bake in this black, but I have no idea what the black is supposed to be. I mean, we contacted Seawind to try and get templates and measurements, and they're like, yeah, we don't have those anymore. I think we explained that earlier. So yeah, this is the best way with the existing materials that we found. If you have an endless buckets of money, then yeah, go do it the other way. Make your own glass and whatever. But this is the best way that we found.
Okay, so we actually just did our demo or sample test on cardboard, but I think this is fairly straightforward. Famous last words, right?
Amen to that. Now, I mean, I know moving this stuff around on cardboard is probably going to behave a little bit differently on glass, but it does seem to spread pretty easily. So it'll just be a nice thin layer on the glass, and there we go.
You're going to start this way.
Yeah, I'm going to go this way.
And then I'm going to bring it all the way to the edge.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
No.
There we go.
Okay. I'm going to need some. You can go here and then maybe work that way. That's why I told you this section only. I'm sorry, I shouldn't yell at you. I'm just stressed out. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We're almost there.
We are not almost there. You're gonna start here and then.
I'll just go through the middle.
Yeah, that's fine.
I hope this is thick enough.
Now comes the slow and calculated part.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't think this is the fun part.
Let you move out of here.
Yep.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, well then turn back to you. Made it off.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, goop on the outside is fine.
Goop on your clothes, it's fine.
Yeah.
Go get the rods.
Yep.
Go get the rods. Go get the rods.
Go in to get the rods.
Quickly. All right.
Bottom.
Side. Are we close to that? No.
Come up this way. I got it.
Okay. Up here.
Mm-hmm. Oh!
That was a little too much.
Oh, what a
Back
mess.
what? Back what?
No, it's fine.
Forward?
It's fine there. Losing it. Fuck.
What, baby?
This is not tight enough.
Fuck me. Okay.
She needs something to stick underneath them.
I know. I'm working on it.
Fuck.
I don't think it's gonna hold.
Hold though.
There's no way that this is gonna work.
No, we gotta take it off. Oh my god.
Yeah. Second plan.
Bring the table out here. Set it on the dock somewhere. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to take this off. We're going to set it back on the...
The lines are both loose?
Yeah, they're both loose. We're going to set it back on the fenders here.
On the fenders?
Yeah, because we got to get the suction cups off. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys, that did not turn out the way we were anticipating.
It did not work at all.
Alright, so we got some xylene. I'm sure this is great for my cut.
I'm sure it's going to be awesome. It does a good job.
Yeah, that's why we bought it.
Yeah.
So we could clean up any messes, you know, that we might leave behind. This is a mess, guys.
This is a disaster.
This is why people hire people, guys.
Yeah.
When you don't know what you're doing, this is like just heartbreak. What do they say about hiring a professional versus an amateur?
Right. If you're not familiar with that, is if you think it's expensive hiring a professional, wait till you hire an amateur.
Yeah. That's what we are, guys.
That's what we are. We are the worst kind of amateurs.
Think you can watch a few YouTube videos and go out and do something. That is so dumb.
The problem is that the gravity is taking the window off the wall.
Yeah.
And we're not really sure how we're supposed to support it
Well,
while we're doing this. I mean,
there is a method using shims where we have to actually drill, screw the shims into the window. And we didn't want to do that because we didn't want to put any more holes in our boat. But I'm pretty sure that's the only way we could really do this.
This is an unmitigated disaster. Not really sure what to tell y'all.
Alright guys, let me show you some of the damage. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this mess. So when you're a sailor, these are the things that you you have nightmares about. Stay up, keep you up at night.
Yep. In the spectrum of possibilities, you know, everything that we thought to try and prepare for, and this was not it. This was not in one of them. Hindsight, it should have been, but yeah, this was. We did not. No, we didn't. No. See y'all next week.
Go ahead, like and subscribe to join us in our next adventure.